Today I'm gonna show you how to install Hadoop in a multi-node cluster. So for that I have installed a base box on a VMware Fusion where I have installed Centos 6.4. I have also installed a Java onto it. And I have cloned this base box into SDP1 and SDP2 where I'll be installing Hadoop. So I've started these two machines, SDP1 and SDP2 here. This is SDP1 and SDP2. So let's get started. So open a terminal. Let's check Java is installed properly or not. So Java, so it's installed. Normally it is recommended that not to install OpenJDK, so keep that in mind. Now same thing with here, Java version, so it's fine. So first thing is we're gonna make this two box IP address static. Since I have cloned this, it's always good idea to check which network interface card it's using. And normally the default is it's 0, but when you have cloned it, normally it will change this. The system will change it into it 1. So to check that, I'm using Nano as my text editor because I'm comfortable with that. So I'm going to go to etc udev rules 70 persistent .NET rules. So I'm going to check the last line of this and go to end of this line and see the name of our network interface is ETH1. So this is that. Now let's change our directory to etc sysconfig network scripts. We need to create a new file with a name ifcfg eth1. So what I'm gonna do is copy this file, eth0, and convert it into eth1. Now I'm gonna configure that, open that file, eth1. I'm going to change the device name as eth1. Since we have cloned this, we don't need this, we don't need this. So on boot is yes. Network manager control is no. We don't want network manager to control our IP address. The boot proto is static. So we're gonna add a couple of things here. We're gonna set up our own IP address, IP8 address. We're gonna add net mask. We're gonna add DNS server. So DNS server, the value of the DNS server can be same as your gateway. So every machine have their own gateway IP and gateway address. So I'm gonna check my gateway. To do that, open a new terminal and type route, and it will tell you the gateway. So I'm going to copy that, go back here, paste it here, and the net mask is going to be 255.255.255.0, and I'm going to set my IP address as 192.168.95. I'm going to set it as 140 for now. The next thing we have to do is just a second. Next thing we have to configure is Nano the host name. So you can go to system config network. We're gonna change this host name as SDP1. We're gonna add gateway here. The gateway is going to be same as this guy here. So I'm going to paste it, my gateway, save it. And now next thing I want to do is resolve conf file. I'm gonna delete that. I'm gonna change the search as SDP1, and I'm all set. So the next thing we're gonna do is stop the network manager. So to do that, service network manager stop. Oops. Service network manager stop. So it's stopped. So I'm gonna kill this network manager so that whenever I reboot my system, it won't come back. So to do that, I'm gonna go do check config network manager off. So it's killed. Now, since we have changed our network interface card to ETH1, so I'm gonna turn down the ETH card 0 and bring back this. So to do that, I'm gonna do if down ETH 0, and I'm gonna bring back ETH1. I'm gonna restart my network so that all the configured files are up. So restart. It's bringing back ETH1. So I'm gonna check FIG. So my IP address is correct. So let's try it. Let's test it. So I'm gonna do ping.sun.com. It's replying, so this is fine. So I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna go to cd etc system config network scripts. I'm gonna copy this guy here as before. So copy efc feature to efc 1. I'm gonna edit the file. See ETH1. I'm gonna change this to ETH1. I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna say to yes. I'm gonna say this guy to no. I'm gonna say it's static. I'm gonna add IP address here. I'm gonna add net mask here. Then I'm gonna add DNS server. So again, for checking the gateway, open a new terminal, route, and it will give you the gateway. Copy that and paste it to your DNS server. Netmask is 255.255.255.0. IP address is 192.168.95. Since I have set here here as 140, I'm gonna set it here as 141 on my SDP1. So this is that. So next thing we're gonna do is change our host name in our network. So I'm gonna delete that. I'm gonna make SDP2. I'm gonna add gateway here. So gateway gonna be same as before. I'm gonna save it. Now I'm gonna do is resolve conf file. I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna change it to SDP2. This is that. Now I'm gonna kill network managers. Stop. Turn off the network manager. Then I'm gonna remove ETH0 if any. I'm gonna bring back each one. Then I'm gonna restart the network service. It's bringing back each one. I'm gonna check everything is fine. So it's 141 here, right here. So I'm gonna test it by pinging .sun.com. It's replying. This is fine. So next thing I'm gonna do is configure the host file on my SDP1. So just to tell you that, I mean, while installing the Hadoop cluster, I'm going to be making SDP1 as my master and SDP2 as my slave. So I'm going to do, I'm going to host name. So this is my host name, IP address of my box 1. So I'm going to do it nano hosts. I'm going to add this guy here. So I'm going to give it a name SDP1, and I'm going to add one more guy here, the IP address of this box, the second box, which is 141, which we have set up, and I'm going to give SDP2 here. So what I'm going to do is SCP send this host file to this box. So host SDP1, I mean SDP2, etc. Yes. Alright. So next thing we're going to do is add a Hadoop user. Add a user for installing Hadoop and everything. So add user called Hadoop to a system, to a box. Give a password to a user. I'm gonna set 123 123. So the password is set up. So I'm gonna do is add a user to a group called root. Let's see. Add user Hadoop to a group called root. So adding user Hadoop to a group called root. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to create a user called Hadoop. I'm going to add a password to a Hadoop. Give a password. I'm going to add to a group called root. So this is fine. The next thing I'm going to do is log into Hadoop SDP1. So the way Hadoop communicates with each other is through SSH. So I'm going to make these boxes talk each other without passwords. So for that I'm going to do keygen type is RSA, the encryption type, and the password is blank for this tutorial. So what I'm gonna do is copy this public ID to a file called authorized keys. So I'm gonna do .ssh underscore keys. This is that. So I'm gonna set up that permission 600 to this newly created file .ssh authorized key, and let's test it. SDP1. Yes. Cool. Now what I'm gonna do is copy this folder to my box 2 so that each time it communicates with each other, it doesn't need to require passwords. So For that, I'm going to do is do this SCP to SDP2. So I'm going to send it to the home folder. Yes, I'm going to type the password. Okay, now I'm going to test it. SSH SDP2. Cool. This is that. Now one thing I want to do before I move further is go back to root and kill this IP tables. So service IP tables stop config IP tables off. Okay, go back to Hadoop and do the same thing with this box to here. So service IP table stop config IP tables off. So this is fine. So let's go back and download the Hadoop. Now the Hadoop installation comes into play. As I can see, my battery is running low sign there. Google.com, download Hadoop. I'm going to go to Apache website here. I'm going to go to download new releases, choose any mirror there. I'm going to go to stable folder and I'm going to choose this guy right here. Right click onto that and copy the link location and close this. Now what I'm going to do is quickly download that using curl. You can use WebKit or anything. Paste that link and it's downloading. Okay, download has completed. Let's untar it. Let's ls that. Okay, tar at xdf Hadoop. Let's test it. Okay, now go to Hadoop folder there and see all these files here. Go to conf file. So let me clear that. So we're gonna be configuring a couple of things here. We're gonna be configuring this guy here. We're gonna be configuring this core site XML and this here and these three. Okay, let's start with the core file here. So in this XML file, we'll be configuring the name node stuff. You know, like where the name node gonna store its temporary the metadata and what's the host name for the name node and all those things. So let's create a property here. And let's create a name tag there. fsdefault.name so value. Oops, I'm gonna close that tag there. So the link URL is going to be sdfs : since we want to make SDP1 as our master node, so we're going to give SDP1 and the port is 9000. We're going to close that. We're going to close this property. We're going to create one more property. We're going to name it hadoop.tmp.dir. So so here in this configuration, we're gonna set up we're gonna give the location of a folder where the Hadoop name node gonna store its metadata. So I'm gonna give the value as I'm gonna choose my location as var Hadoop dash dollar user dot name value here. I'm going to close this property tag. So this is fine now. Next thing, I'm gonna give me 1 minute. I'm gonna quickly plug in my battery here. It's dying. Sorry about that. Quickly plug in my battery here. So yeah, that's fine. Now I'm gonna configure this guy right here, where I'm gonna set up the job tracker and all those things. I'm gonna do site. I'm gonna property. Name. It's gonna be map job tracker name. Then I'm gonna give the value as since I'm gonna be assigning it my master node as the location for my job tracker. So SDP1 colon port number can be assigning is 9001. Then the value, this is that, and property tag. So this is fine. Next thing I'm gonna do is SDFS, where I'm gonna set up the replication factor. SDFS side property name gonna be dfs dot PLICTI replication name, and the value gonna be 1. I'm just gonna replicate 1. Give my replication factor as 1 for this tutorial, but it's all up to you. Property. Next thing I'm gonna do is set up my environmental variable in the Hadoop env assets file. So I'm gonna be setting up, go to the end of this, I'm gonna export Java home. I'm gonna export Hadoop home. I'm gonna export Hadoop conf directory. So my Java home is inside inside user Java JDK. This is my Java JDK location, but it might be different on your machine depending upon where you have installed your Java. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here. I'm planning to install my Hadoop on OPT under folder name Hadoop, so I'm going to give that. I still have to configure that. So my conf file gonna be Hadoop -nf. So this is that. So now we are pretty much ready. So what I'm gonna do now is copy this configured Hadoop folder to our next box SDP2. So what I'm gonna do is scp-r Hadoop 2 SDP2 to a root folder. to a home folder. So it's gonna transfer that to SDP 2. It's gonna take for a while. It's gonna take a few minutes. Still transferring. It's almost done, I guess. Okay, let's test it. Let's check it. So there it is. Now, on our Hadoop folder, on our Hadoop core dash site.xml file, we have configured a couple of things that we're going to be installing our Hadoop under OPT file. So what we're going to do is create some. We're going to change back to root and copy this guy here to OPT, to a folder called OPT. So I'm gonna do home Hadoop 1.2 to OPT. So I'm gonna copy that. Same thing with here. So I'm gonna copy home Hadoop to OPT. So let's go to OPT and say, let's clear this. So we have the folder name Hadoop 1.2.1, but in our configuration file we told that we're going to be installing Hadoop inside OPT/Hadoop. So we're going to rename this folder. So we Hadoop. So ls that. So it's that. So we also wrote on our configuration file that we're going to be installing storing all our metadata inside var/Hadoop. So we're going to create a directory there, mkdir var Hadoop. So this is that. Now we're going to give permission. We're going to give permission and to this folder to a user Hadoop. So on -r Hadoop, and we're going to give permission to this folder here. Same thing we're going to be doing with var that Hadoop that we have created here. Okay, so this is that. So this is fine now. We're going to go back to Hadoop user. Now let's do the same thing here. We're going to be going to OPT file, clear this, and else that. So we're going to rename this and we Hadoop to Hadoop. So we're going to be creating var Hadoop. We're going to be giving the permission, to OPT that, and we're going to be setting permission to this folder as well. Now we are ready for install. Some last couple of things. Let's go to Hadoop folder and conf file here. As we can see, I mean, the last thing you want to do on the master node, only on master node, please note that, not on the slave node, only on master node. We're gonna we're going to configure these two files, the slaves file and master file. This master file, master's file holds the host name of the master, and the slave files holds the host name of all the slave nodes. So we're gonna start with master, delete this localhost. Our master node is SDP1, and let's do same with the slave, delete that, and the slave node is gonna be SDP1 and SDP2. I'm gonna add both SDP1 and SDP2. So now we're pretty much ready for the Hadoop installation. So bean /Hadoop name node format. Let's see if anything comes up, if any error or anything. If nothing comes up, our installation is fine. Alright, it has successfully formatted. So let's start Hadoop. Bean start as all. Now let's open. I think everything has worked properly. So let's test it. Open a browser. Oops. Now, on our browser, let's type http :/sdp1 570, and let's see. As you can see here, the live nodes there are two live nodes, SDP1 and SDP2. The IP of SDP1 is 192.168.95.40, and IP of 192.168.41. So this is the only two node cluster. If you want to add more the slave node, all you have to do is go to this conf file and add all the servers. All you have to do is open slave, and if you want to add more slaves, just keep adding more slave host name, like more slave1, slave2. You can add n number of slave node and restart it, and it will just work. So this is the quick tutorial. Thank you.